Welcome to part 24 of the 2023 NFL Draft and Review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the 2023 Chicago Bears draft class. And for me, it's a bit of a mixed bag. They're getting a little bit of what they need. But really, what's more important, I think, here is the fact that they really have basically just shifted a lot of draft capital to put towards future years, which is a good move. This team honestly probably should have tanked and tried this a lot sooner than they did. And, well, thanks to Houston for them to get into this point, so there's that as well. So, this starts off with offensive tackle Darnell Wright. And, yeah, about judging from what I see here, they definitely needed some tackle help, so this works. So, offensive linemen don't really have stats to look at, usually, anyways. So it's just over here to check out the highlights, see how he does. Good that there's some plays against a defense like Alabama. These are guys going to the NFL, so if you can block them, then that's a good thing. Can be overpowered. I do like this selection because he plays tackle in a way that really I don't think I see too often, in that he's quick enough to react, so that seems to be kind of how he plays. He reacts to what the guy coming at him is doing, and once he does engage, it really does seem like he just kind of becomes something of a dead weight. It's hard to move him in a way that gives you a path to get into the quarterback. He might go backwards a little bit, but he's real good at keeping his man on the outside of the quarterback. And this is something the Bears could definitely use because they have a young quarterback. Justin Fields needs all the time in the world to either determine whether he's going to run or try and get the ball to the Bears' limited receiver options. So this should help out quite a bit on securing the outside edge of this offensive line. Next up, we go to the opposite end of the ball, for defensive tackle Gervon Dexter. And this is not what I'd expect from a defensive tackle in the run-stuffing game, but in the end, the running back losing 1 or 2 yards or gaining 1 or 2 yards, sometimes, situationally, it doesn't really matter, just as long as they're tackled before they get more. So yeah, the statistics are interesting, kind of, but nothing too special in the aspect that I would expect from a defensive tackle. So we'll go over here and try and
they're on the 15-yard line with a 7-0 lead. Bernard breaks a tackle and fights his way for about a yard. Chris Curry tries to submarine and gets stood up behind the line. Conservative red zone. Quarterback run. 2 more yards for Rising.
Missed last week's game as well. Levis on 2nd and 9, trying to spin free, but he is torn down by
the right tackle. Coming off the ball, explosive. Here working against Flax, he just throws the right tackle right and destroys that draw play inside. How about the edge being conservative?
And that is what they will do with Smoke, who is tackled right at the line of scrimmage again by... Oh, that ball is out, and they've got it! Gervon!
If you look at this cannot happen in protection. You got a freshman running back working against a 4th-year junior in Brenton Cox. He's going to win that by Cox, attacking the throwing shoulder of Levis, but that's on the back, and that's really on the offensive coordinator.
Levis, on 1st down, bounces off the tight end who was in pass protection. Pump fake, and they come to play. 3rd and 8.
Yeah, that's about what I expected to see. He's very good at disengaging enough to get the runner down at a point where they're only going to get a yard, maybe 2. A lot of stops at the basically right on the line of scrimmage. So that's... I wouldn't call that a defensive cornerstone type of player, but if you're in a situation that a team wants to do something stupid, like run on a 3rd and 15, then yeah, this is a guy that can make some things happen. You know, can put teams in bad situations for 2nd down, 3rd down plays. You know, but if you're trying to stop a team like the Eagles from picking up a 3rd and 1, this might not be your guy. So I have a feeling this one's going to be a bit of a situational player, at least for the first couple of seasons. Next up, we have their second round selection, cornerback Tyreek Stevenson. This is another spot that I would consider the Bears as somewhat needy. They weren't the worst team against the pass the few times I saw them play last year, but I know well enough that this is by far a unit that is impervious to attack, so this one's definitely probably going to have to show me something, because the hands are seemingly not really good going either way here. Pass deflections are a bit low, which suggests he's not really getting his hands up in coverage, and the interceptions are very low. But similarly, the tackles are not too high, considering he only seems to miss like 1 to 3 games here. So, and some limited utility in stopping the run and getting pressure on the quarterback. So that's also a little nice bonus to see sometimes.
Good time to throw. Fires and broken up by Miami. Busted up. It was intense.
His eyes, and then does a great job of sinking back onto that corner route.
That is
a
free interception.
To get there because it takes him so long.
The day for the Pitt Panthers, and Pickett has all day. Mack intercepted, picked off by Stevenson. He's into Pitt territory.
But right now for a touchdown, Kenny Pickett missed him, went to the outside to the double covered wide receiver, and fantastic.
Leonard got it away. With some hands in his face. That one deflected away.
Virgil coming to the near side, has a blocker. And he's cut down at the 5-yard line.
Here.
1st and goal. Low snap. Tries to get it to Brownlee. That's a tough play, and it's picked off. Wilkie getting a little greedy here.
And where let's see. I mean, he right there, there is nothing signaling that he's down. He's inbounds. He doesn't take a knee. That line judge you see there, it's quite a bit.
He still has the football coming to the near side. He's not going to get much.
Collins met immediately by Ty. That targeting play that was waved off.
Exactly right. Runs
falling backwards into the 1st down.
4th catch for Sanders. Sims is going nowhere. Sims wants to throw it. He got hit. They tried to wrestle the ball away.
I don't know how this ball doesn't end up on the turf. Watch this, coming off the top rope. It looks like he might have lost it first.
There's a big third down now.
Armstrong over the middle. That falls to the turf.
Stevenson's smart as well. You know, he knows where they're trying to run those routes at. He knows where.
With Hammond now the running back. Longfield trying to break free after the catch. Took a
Both teams here. And this one seems like it's just after.
All there by Coach Long, the offensive coordinator.
Little razzle gadget. Byron throws inside the 10, and it's picked off.
That's a good play. Good interception.
Travis, little counter here. This is Corbin, and Corbin with a nice. Travis drills it. It's caught.
I would say that this one comes down to what exactly the Bears have on roster. And it does look like they've got some, not a lot of options, but a couple. So maybe a second or third guy here. And this has the potential to be a pretty solid coverage corner for just keeping things locked down. But obviously, there are going to be teams, I think, that test him early on. I think one of those is probably going to be a team like Detroit, a team that's got the options to just really spread out teams. But if they're going to play a team that doesn't have many weapons, like the Packers, or a team that only really has one proven weapon, like the Vikings, then yeah, put him on the other team's number 2, number 3 guy, see what he can do. If he can do that, bump him up. But I wouldn't say that I would dare put him on someone like Justin Jefferson or anything yet. So just one of those ones, keep an eye on him as it goes. We'll see how he develops. Looks pretty good. Next we have another defensive tackle, Zach Pickens. They picked 3 at this position, so it's kind of going to be a matter of who's better than the rest. Because I don't think that more than one of them is going to end up playing. So this is kind of a weaker version of what I already saw from Dexter. Not a ton of utility in either of these categories, but the tackles do go up by the season, though I would kind of like to see them a little bit higher, as we saw with Dexter, if you're not really getting behind the line of scrimmage to stop the run game at this position. So we'll see. But I expect this to be
South Carolina. Weaving his way off the fake is Jefferson. Picks up 5. So third down and
Location.
nowhere to go this time for Rocket Sanders. Forced back in.
Zero, no safety here, so I'd attack the middle of the field.
Doing just that. It's tipped, though. And it falls in.
Watch the trajectory that lets this ball go. It's on a line. But there is nobody.
I think that ball got double
So if you just feather this ball a little bit, put some air up under it, let
strong contingent. You guys want to get a look at Levis. And now that South Carolina defense stiffens, just 1 yard. Second and 10. He has wrapped the shack before. And another sack for South Carolina. This
turns quarterback, but credit to South Carolina's defense. I mean, their front, Zach Pickens has been
into that one. A-Chain, maybe 2. Wow.
Cole went after
And
it.
on 1st and 10, A-Chain with the carry to pick up a couple.
It's in the history of the great state of South Carolina. Richardson's under trouble. He tries to get rid of it, but somehow held.
Anthony Richardson must have huge hands. I don't know how high the ball did come out. When they returned, he kind of looked backwards because that ball popped out. He had possession of it.
It was bursting.
And ECU has forced a turnover. Here's Keaton Mitchell.
An easy pitch and catch.
I'm kind of seeing a weaker version of Gervon Dexter there, which does suggest that there's something to coach up here, but I will say that off the bat, I view Pickens as a backup because he just looks like a weaker version of what the Bears already previously drafted. So, again, as I said with Dexter, just you know, your first down running play, this is the guy you stick in to stuff it if they try and go up the middle. You know, this is the guy that makes like a 2nd and 7 running play into a 3rd and 6 sort of play. So it's just one of those players that I don't really see too much special here, but might get some utility out of them if they use them right. So next we move along to their 4th round selection, Roschon Johnson, running back. I think that Texas. I think that would make him Bijan Robinson's backup in college, if I recall correctly, and I'd say that he's got a pretty good chance of at least being the 2nd string here, because this is not an impressive running back lineup, and would suggest that Justin Fields is probably leading this team on rushing yards this season. But I don't agree with teams that do that. The Ravens do it to a lesser extent. It's just, you've got a mobile quarterback, get a fucking running back, you know. I know they're expendable. A lot of teams are right now. There's a big thing of not wanting to pay running backs what they're worth. But you need a running game. Your quarterback cannot be the running game. If your quarterback is the running game, your quarterback is all defense is going to prepare for. You know, we've seen this multiple times over. The Ravens have gotten stuffed. The Bills have gotten stuffed. You know, these teams that do this, they eventually run into a defense that comes fully prepared to say, if we take out your quarterback's ability to run around, what is he going to do? And then they get beaten. And I have a feeling the Bears are going to run into that problem because this is pathetic. But obviously, you know, Bijan Robinson was the lead back here, so backup statistics. But not bad backup statistics. 500 yards plus in, 3 or 4 seasons. 5+ touchdowns each year. Some, limited but present receiving ability. You know, this could be one of those players that could compete for a starting job with what running backs are available here. Or if not, likely a strong and often used 2nd string guy. So
44 yards. Roschon, the nice cut. Roschon, end zone.
Back. Look at his vision. He cuts straight downfield. And one thing about him, he's determined to get in the end zone. He's green grass, the orange end zone. He wants to get in the end zone. Dominant, determined.
Good cut to the hole.
You can pull off a mullet. You're an absolute dude. As Roschon
Our good cut to find the hole.
Gets the carry.
Lower leg injury. Here he is, over the middle. He has his man, Johnson. Johnson pulls his way.
Hudson Card. Card, quick pass. One-handed catch by Roschon. Johnson has room, lowering the shoulder. Look at Roschon Johnson. That didn't even bobble. That's stick him right there. Roschon Johnson showing, flanking Hudson Card. Card rolling out to Roschon Johnson. He's got the first down. Roschon Johnson has the Dolphins. He told us yesterday, yeah, I miss playing quarterback. I still do think about it for a dude. And I challenge you to find anybody on this Texas team that has made a bigger leap in 1 year. Roschon Johnson, take your time.
Notice who they're running behind. Christian Jones, the man we're talking about. It's easy as a fan to watch a play.
Ewers turns around, goes back to Johnson. Well-designed play. Roschon ripping it up.
These Oklahoma Sooners move to their left initially as Ewers rolls to his left to buy a little time. Turns around, finds.
They want to sit back and enjoy every second of this. Look at the effort from Johnson.
Just a great run.
I view this player as a bit of an all-rounder. He's not seemingly particularly good at any one spot, but he's good enough at a lot of them. You know, there's a good bit of power to, occasionally bounce off a hit, shed a guy that overcommitted to going for the legs or something. He's not super fast, but he's got enough of a burst to get a good bit down the field on the right play. And he's got that limited but useful pass catching ability. So I do think that the Bears are going to end up using this guy to an extent. Because obviously you've got a young quarterback. Young quarterbacks, in my firm opinion, you are best served having security blanket targets for them. And that's what this is. This could be a security blanket target for Justin Fields to just dump the ball off if he doesn't see anything. So I see this as a interesting pick that we might end up seeing more of as time goes on. So the next selection is a wide receiver, Tyler Scott. And honestly, with the Bears receiver room, I would have made this pick a lot sooner. You know, that they obviously got DJ Moore. That is a very good pickup, but what else do they got? Bunch of nobodies. The sort of receivers that you would expect to see on the Patriots roster at this point. Yeah, it's better than last year. Last year was a joke, but you've still only really got the one target, plus maybe Cole Kmet. So Tyler Scott, I won't say doesn't have a chance, because he pretty clearly does if he, can do things. Yeah, there we go. Honestly, that's a name I expected to be a little more common in college football. So, this lines up pretty well with your number 2, number 3 type of receiver that's left on the board by round 4 or 5. So, I'd imagine most of the highlights we're going to see are probably coming out of this final season. Almost 900 yards flat, 9 touchdowns. So, that's about a touchdown every 100 yards, which ain't bad. Better defender, maybe we could make a point on that. Solid throw, even better catch. I will still say that he's got a chance with the Bears, but I definitely think he's going to have to work because I don't really see anything that's overly better than what the Bears have in terms of their options for number 2, number 3 level guys. You got Chase Claypool, Darnell Mooney, last year's selection, Velus Jones. I do think that Scott is going to have to do something to stand out. Otherwise, he probably won't quite get past those guys. So, now we'll move into the 5th round picks with linebacker Noah Sewell. Damn it. I hate when my mouse grabs the tab like that. Okay. So, well, this is confusing. 2 years say outside linebacker production, that is not good at pass rushing. 1 year says inside linebacker production, that's, you know, still not good at pass rushing, but a little better in the stopping the run, so I'm not quite sure what to make of this. Well, come over here and take a look at the roster again, just to kind of see. Yeah, they are listing him as an outside linebacker. That's interesting. But they do obviously have T.J. Edwards, and yeah, they probably got a second starter here, so I will figure that this is probably a backup selection. But yeah, here we go.
Key off the play fake this way to Urasek. And he's bottled up with a 26. He fumbled the football, and Oregon has it. It's Sewell. Look out. Suck the ball to the tight end, and he bobbles it off the start. Makes and just beautifully forced fumble there by Bennett Williams, the nickel.
UCLA's been itching to get back to work since then. Meanwhile, here's Stony Brook's first possession of the second half, and maybe it'll be the
first down throw on play action, given ground. He throws into traffic, and it is in.
It's a long haul over. Let's see how clear the communication is.
Ward flushed again, lets it fly.
Back to it.
No, he's going to keep it, and down he goes. That was
There's 5 out of 6 on third down. Before this play, and it ends in the arms of Noah.
That's a middle screen for Davis, and it's blown up.
Years, you've got to defeat 2 blocks. He anticipates that middle screen, and here we go again, Jason. A third.
They do, and Sewell in for a touchdown.
And they'll run it with Williams, and he's backed up and dropped and direction.
Now the toss to Kendall Milton, and he gets stacked up.
He set the table really nice for him.
Ward's in trouble again, and down he goes.
Doesn't have the time right now.
Loss of 3 on the sack. I'll hand it off here to Filkins, and he'll get a couple of back.
On second down, quick throw and knocked down by Noah Sewell.
Allen hit, kept his feet, and down he goes.
This is a bit of an odd one for me because he's playing in a spot that I don't really, know too well. Again, he plays somewhere between an inside and outside linebacker. He's kind of almost a hybrid of the positions that you can kind of do either job. Though of his stature, I'm not sure I would ask him to cover somebody. But it's just weird. He doesn't have the pass rushing talents I would expect to see of an outside linebacker. And he is not quite as productive at making tackles as I'd expect of an inside linebacker. So I'm not really sure what to make of this player. I would assume that we're probably not going to see too much of him, being a 5th round pick and all, but we'll see. That's one of those players that maybe that turns into an interesting, year or two somewhere down the road. So, next we get another corner, Terrell Smith from Minnesota. And, of course, being a Big Ten defensive player, I'm not really expecting a lot here. What the hell? His name is Terrell Smith. So, what the fuck? Oh, there we go. Finally registered. So, yeah, this is about what I expect to see from a Big Ten defensive player. Honestly, with this kind of a stat line and everything, I'm a little surprised that he wasn't drafted at all. So, not particularly high interceptions, pass deflections, tackles, missed quite a few games between his 3rd and 4th year. That suggests quite a few injuries, so I'm not too keen on this pick already.
Here we go, and there he is, and there he goes down.
Hall gets it. One of his last 5.
launches downfield for Palmer. It's intercepted. Picked off by Smith.
Coming wide open, and to Chubba Purdy, he looks wide open, but rather than getting his eyes out in front to see what's happening, he has no idea that
Jones couldn't hang on to it. And Frakes will throw down the sideline, and a diving and attempt at an interception.
Because he kind of overthrows his ball, but you just got to go make an effort at it.
So having the chance to lead that is huge.
Donald back, 3rd down and 7. He scrambles, he throws, it's complete, and the ball is loose. As he's going to the ground, he's got the catch there. He makes the move.
Out of the gun. Stroud pulls it out over the middle.
Intercepted. Smith down the sideline.
Mariano Sori-Marin, watch 55. He jumps up right there, kind of gets a hand up there. It's right there for the interception.
That's the sort of play that makes me not like CJ Stroud.
Interference. 1st and 10 from the 27. Blitz coming. Backside pressure, and Petrus didn't hit.
Blau thought about the screen. It's up for grabs. It's caught. And immediately taken down at the...
Clock moving. Mims. No.
Be there for a long time to close out his coaching career.
There's a player at Fresno State under legendary Jim Sweeney. That ball is picked off. Minnesota's got the foot.
In a trail position. And that ball's nicely thrown right on the numbers, right on his hand to pick the ball up. The coaches talk about, hey, we know this guy can make some plays. He's got great hands.
But we will get the start today. Stroud under pressure, sacked. The ball pops out. And Minnesota.
He's got to know that he's got pressure off that backside. When he makes the fake, he's got it knocked out. Minnesota gets the football. They started the same way last week versus.
Here we go, and there he is.
I will say that one quarterback there at the end was kind of one of the... Yeah, that's why I don't really get these Colorado players acting like they're big shit in comparison to Deion Sanders. Y'all aren't. So, as for Terrell Smith, I could see maybe a roll on the special teams here, but I would kind of be hesitant to say anything more than that, because he looks like he's one of those corners that does better when the quarterback makes an obvious mistake. And that's not really what I want to see from that position. Your objective is to cover, do a good job, and if the quarterback makes a mistake, capitalize on that. Just doing one of those things and not really at a particularly good level, that's just kind of, just says, your typical special teams unit sort of guy. So the next up is defensive tackle Travis Bell. I wasn't really able to find too much here, but 7th round defensive tackle from, I think, an FCS school. So they're just kind of taking a flyer here, seeing if he can, maybe do a little better than what would initially be expected. But I kind of see that one as the cut fodder of this class. I think the Bears are in a good enough spot that they don't necessarily have to keep that guy around. That brings it to the final player, cornerback Kendall Williamson out of Stanford. that oh my god. 5 years, 1 interception, 13 pass deflections. This guy's virtually never getting his hands on the ball. Missing games in a good chunk of time, 2 of 5 years. Missing, I believe, games in another 2 of the remaining 3. High tackle numbers for the position. No. I don't really think I'm going to see too much I care for here. That should have been caught. That's very little to do with the corner there. Other plays showcasing Colorado's ineffectiveness as a team. Bad play design. Real bad play design. Yeah, I'm not impressed here. Most of these players basically says that he's effectively only benefits off of teams that don't really do too well in play calling, plus, you know, the occasional player error like dropping a ball that's in your hands. So, yeah, I don't think that these 2 7th rounders will probably still be here by September. So, overall, this class, it's really like a lot of the NFC classes right now. There's a lot of potential here, but so much for them to overcome to see that. So, really, I'd keep it at these first 3 plus Rashawn Johnson as the likely immediate contributors. And Darnell Wright's the only one that I would say is an immediate starter, so just a lot of fat in the backgrounds, just not really enough here to justify them. So I'd give this about my standard, just kind of average sort of grade, that in between, you know, C and B area. So I'd put this about a C plus class. You know, good pick here with Darnell Wright, possibly good playmakers here with Dexter and Stevenson. But after that, it just becomes if things roll the exact right way, they could be good picks. But because it is that specific circumstances, I could see quite a few of them not being very good picks in the end. So that's where I'll have to put this Bears class. So that is going to do it for today. Like the video, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share it with your friends. Follow me on Twitter if you like, and I'll see you on probably Tuesday morning for the beginning of the NFC South, which is, of course, going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.